Welcome to the Infinite Stupidity, Common Sense edition of how common sense could probably fix 98% of these issues. And what common sense is. What common sense is applied knowledge, okay? People misunderstand it and they're like, no, it's having an experience and learning from it. No. It is applied knowledge. It is the ability to take abstract information and then project likely outcomes. Okay. The thing I think about was like, imagine being in science class and they're like, air has volume or whatever, and then it inflates like a balloon. So then you understand that as a concept, and then later you're like, carbonated soda releases gas, i.e., there's PSI in the bottle because carbon's released in it. Okay, abstracts. If you have common sense, you damn near look psychic because you can predict outcomes that idiots can't predict. And if you're emotionally stunted, you do not have common sense. Okay? Because it's the final stages of development and it involves complex thought. You cannot have common sense and not have complex thought. Okay? As proud as you are of being a dumbass, a mindless idiot. So, I remember during the court case, they went over how the ridiculous contracts, same contract I'm under, and how they're for human sacrifice, human trafficking, and just killing people and ruining lives. And they're like, oh, under the contract, you can only use the lawyers at the church, and then the lawyers won't represent you because they swear fealty to the church. No, it's just, that's fucking stupid. You should set up a committee that looks at the contract, goes, this is bullshit, and you can't do that to people, and they set up a committee that did that. Unfortunately for me, when I tried to get out of my contract, there was a bitch there that was from the Church of the Anal Eating Mummy, and she refused to let me out of my contract. Because fascism, there's a million assholes that are trying to stop me from doing the right thing because they're complete pieces of shit. Here's another common sense thing. Self-policing is not a thing. Okay? I remember there was this whole thing from this one dickhead from the church that was like, if you had a problem with the human trafficking, you should have reported it to the church, and then we would have sat down and arbitrated and solved the human trafficking problem. You shouldn't have told the FBI, you shouldn't have said it in court, and I didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about because my brain was destroyed. But no. You cannot remove... The church is a fascist entity, and this is common sense. This is going to be some applied knowledge. Fascist entities run off of war. They love war. They need to be in constant war because of war profiteering. Okay? They need constant revenue. If you have a fascist society, like the Church of the Anal Eating Mummy, where does it get its money from? And it's not from donations. It gets it from human trafficking because they are not at war. Okay? And it needs the human trafficking. If you get rid of it, it will destroy the church. Okay? Because it's codependent on the human trafficking. Because it's fascist, and fascists need an invisible enemy. That's why they go on about communism, even though communism isn't a fucking thing. And in their brains, remember their communism, it's black people, gays, women, fucking... I would argue Jews to some extent because they do hate Jews at the church. That's not a fucking joke. And anything they don't like is communism because they need an invisible enemy, and they are invisible enemies, just like 1984. So, no. Through common sense, once again, fascism's codependent on war. The church is codependent on human trafficking because it doesn't have a war to fund itself. Okay? So... when using applied knowledge and like common sense, you are predicting the most likely outcome, and this makes you damn near psychic or even telepathic at times, because if you know somebody well enough, you know the nature of the thing and you know what the thing's gonna do. An example of this is I've done 4 or 5 videos on Stu, and I know Stu's gonna say, look, I have him blocked on Facebook, but then he has like 10 or 15 fake profiles that he views my shit through. Okay? Like, fuck off. Like... The cartoonish nature of the thing is what's funny to me. And what's the solution for that? well, you adjust the First Amendment and you go, you lose your tax exempt status if you human traffic. Another issue is the church went on, I remember this shit from the FBI and CIA, talking about how I had to sacrifice everything, my family, my livelihood, and everything, because I reported a human trafficking ring and it's organized crime, and the FBI doesn't know how to fucking deal with organized crime, and they need. I remember this dude, the dumbest shit was you need to appear in court in front of the judge. Like, I needed to go physically to court. I had to figure out how to get my poor ass, and this is the problem with the judicial system. Money should not be involved in the judicial system. Common sense. If you want everybody to have access to it, it should be free. Yes, I said it. So, I have to figure out some way to get a ton of money and go to Washington. You know what happened? There is a bitch working at my bank and she froze my bank account so I couldn't get money to get a ticket to go to Washington. So, one of the other things, I'm talking about applied common sense here, fucking... After these people poisoned me till I was retarded and they got me to sign the perjury which acquitted Stu of all the murders he committed because he was found guilty, because all the church leaders have to murder six women and or 7 women and 6 kids or whatever the fuck, and they were all found fucking guilty of homicide, and they released a bunch of innocent people from jail that went back to jail after I signed the perjury. These dumb assholes, because Blondie lied to him, which is something he's not supposed to do. He told him that he was going to let them keep the money from their lead brains, like poisoning people with lead is actually illegal. Well, not anymore at the church because I signed the perjury. And they all got like a couple $1,000 from the case. So they thought they were gonna poison me with heavy metals till I was retarded, get me to sign the perjury, which congratulations, you successfully did that, and they were gonna get to keep that money. And I got calls like, I kid you not, ring, you piece of shit, you signed the perjury, and it was from people who helped this dickhead poison me with heavy metals and then explained to me they lost their money because they were helping the bad guys. And I want to be clear on this. There were dumb assholes that were trying to explain to me the church needed to be reestablished. The church is fucking evil. Okay, it is pure fucking evil. Okay, Blondie lied about letting these people keep the money. Okay, Blondie lied about letting those people who were innocent stay out of jail. He lied about everything. And in his brain, I'm not a member, so he can lie to me. That's on me. But he lied to the members. And these idiots were calling me, complaining to me when it was Blondie that done it. Okay, like, you shouldn't have fucking listened. And I remember this from the FBI stuff talking about there were people in the church that still wanted the church to go on. They were completely immiserated. They were under contract. They were beaten, raped, assaulted, all this horrible shit. But they wanted the church to continue. Stockholm Syndrome. No, and here's what I say to those people. If they had common sense, if they weren't emotionally stunted, they would have known, we get him to sign the perjury, we lose our money. Here's what you should have done to Blondie. You should have been like, we want to meet with you, and then just shot him. Okay? His ways are beyond art. They're not. The only fucking thing Blondie cares about is his sex harem. And this is an entire thing with all the leaders at the church. They all want their sex harem, and they do call their wives sex harems, because they are sex harems. Okay? Fucking... if they had common sense, and I remember this one lady just chewing my ass for like 30 minutes on the phone about what a piece of shit I was for and then told me at the end of the thing she was one of the main characters, like, that fucking poisoned me with heavy metals till I was retarded to get me to sign the fucking perjury. And I was just, you guys are stupid. You can't be this fucking dumb. Like, no, they can. And trust me, they're superior beings because they're stupid. The fucking... there was this, and like I said, the FBI explained to me, like, there was a legal case years ago, long before mine came along, and this is how they knew everything was going to go tits up. This guy reported the church as a human trafficking ring long before I did. And he tried to get to court, and they shot and killed him right outside of court. They just blew his brains off. And then the CIA and FBI explained to me, that's why we do court that way, is to make sure the evil people can murder your ass before you can get to court. Justice system. You have to appear in person so we can blow your fucking head off. Like, common sense. You should be able to call somebody, go, these assholes are a human trafficking ring, get rid of them. The other side of this common sense, while I'm on this tangent, I think about the regards to religion and the separation of church and state. If that was a fact, then somebody's religion shouldn't be a part of the FBI or CIA. They shouldn't be able to say, I am a whatever. No. You should have to swear fealty to the FBI or CIA. You have to swear fealty to fucking America, and it is above your religion. Okay? And that fealty should be something unbreakable, and breaking that fealty should result in you being tried for treason, and then you should be executed. You'd be like, oh, my religion told me to do it. Nope, you're dead. Fuck you, you're dead. You done goofed. Okay? Common sense laws. You implement that law, you could probably fix 90% of the fucking problems. I kid you not. These guys, we would be executing FBI and CIA members in mass droves, but fuck them, they're pieces of shit anyways. Like, fucking... The whole aspect is just ridiculous, and religion in itself is fucking ridiculous, but... And there's no common sense in religion. Nothing makes any sense. Just like I've been ranting about forever. So that would have been another thing that could probably have fixed this issue, like, without a hitch. And to be fair, they did create a contract program once again, like, but then it was dismantled after they got me to sign the fucking perjury. Like, the amount of dumb assholes, and I think about this because I was literally called nonstop after signing the perjury, that were actively trying to force me to sign the perjury, and then got pissed when they lost their money, when their kids were put back into human trafficking. Like, you do not shake hands with the fucking devil, okay? You do not shake hands with the fucking devil. He is the devil. He is gonna fuck you. That's what's gonna happen. That's common sense. When an entity is evil, it is evil, okay? Oh man, you can't make the dude just the level of stupidity that went into this. And I remember another side is the lack of common sense was one of the women that Stu tried to frame me for murdering her kid called me and was like, you signed the perjury, i.e. you murdered my kid. And I just remember, like, just because somebody signed a fucking document doesn't change reality. But remember, emotionally stunted reality is as it feels, not what it is. The church is good, it makes me feel good, therefore it is good and it can do no wrong. The church gives you LSDs to make you feel good. It doesn't make you feel good, it's the LSD. You can pop LSD and not be a member of the church. There's a bunch of there's drug dens everywhere, brother. You can go do your LSD and not be a fucking member, okay? And I remember that lady, and there was another guy that called me, went on a thing about fucking how I signed my cuddle buddy called me and told me I was a fucking liar about the human trafficking ring. I was a fucking liar about everything. No, let me explain to you. When you sign the perjury, it means everything these people are guilty of is covered up immediately. Okay? Every fucking thing, every horror, every atrocity these people committed, it means they are suddenly innocent, sweet babies because they got you to sign a perjury, which... This is another common sense thing. That shouldn't be a fucking thing. You got me to sign the perjury, okay? Let's talk about it. You're still guilty. Okay? And there's this entire thing in the U.S. system where they're like, well, you have to follow the laws perfectly, and you can't get out of line, and you can't do this. Fuck that. That's fucking stupid. Evil people do not follow the law. The people in the church do not follow the law. They even explained to me they are above the law. Okay? And they do believe they are above the law. Okay? So, and I want to talk about that because that's just fucking stupid. So somebody knows somebody's in a human trafficking ring. They make up a white lie to get the FBI to investigate them, and then they're like, oh, you have to sign a perjury because you lied to get us to investigate them. Fuck them, they're a human trafficking ring, kill them. Okay. Like, this is my thing, is I have a black and white conscience about this, and I know bastards when I see bastards, and I think the law, if it was actually black and white like they claimed it was, you would still be guilty. You'd be like, no, we have the evidence, it's right here. Yeah, you got them to sign the perjury, congratulations, we're still putting you in the fucking gas chamber, you're still getting fucking executed. Okay, common sense. Once again, fucking applied knowledge. These people are evil. They did the evil. Like, and I remember this, like, the ridiculousness about this, because these people are fucking, they are poisoned with heavy metals till they are retarded. And I like, one of my favorite epic retardations was this lady that was in rehab, getting psychological help, and suddenly the church told her she didn't need it, and they just took her back, and she went back to into human trafficking, being pimped out by her husband to make money, because that's the thing the church does. Like, if she's being pimped out by her husband and explaining to me she's not being human trafficked and she's not being pimped out, it's totally different. She's doing it for the greater good, and I was just, lady, you're fucking stupid. The church's fake psychological help, they're all emotionally stunted, so none of them can teach you how to process your emotions. It's impossible for them. That's common sense. If somebody doesn't have something, they can't give it to you. Okay? If they don't have the ability to process their emotions, they can't teach you how to process your emotions. Okay? And I remember, like, this lady that was all like, oh, I do everything through the church. Don't do that. That's common sense. These people don't believe in the police, and then they explain to you they're going to be self-policing. Common sense. You don't believe in the police, you don't believe in self-policing. Okay? It's not a thing, and self-policing is common sense. It's bullshit. You're literally asking somebody to investigate themselves and turn themselves in. Hey, buddy, we're just going to trust that you're going to go to jail for the next 90 years for murder. Oh no, I investigated myself and I acquitted myself of murder because I decided I didn't do that. That's stupid. Expunging legal records is another thing. That's a common sense. You shouldn't let people ever expunge legal records. We do it for the police. We let police expunge things from their records. So if they're part of the human trafficking, if they're murdering people extra legally, they can remove it from their records. Stupid. I mean, common sense. Qualified immunity is bullshit, by the way. Fucking every officer is a fucking citizen, and they should be tried like citizens for murder. It shouldn't just be like, my job is so stressful and I can't handle it. Okay, so your job is so stressful you can't handle it? Then you don't need to be an officer. Are you too stupid to figure that out? Are you a dumbass? Well, maybe you're too stupid to be an officer. Common sense. You drive it home on these people. And I would argue judges should have the legal authority to say if somebody's fucking autistic, so you just go, you're autistic, you can't be a police officer. You're autistic, you can't be part of the FBI. I argue that emotionally stunted should be a form of autism because they can't learn. It is something that is beyond them. It is beyond their brains. It is beyond their capacity. They are stupid. Okay? And I think about this, how every member of the church, like this, I'm going to get into this, drinking lead. Let's talk about it. Destroys your brain, does a bunch of awful shit, makes you psychopathic. That's great. But it locks you out of your emotions. What happens when you're locked out of your emotions? People crave sensation. They crave emotions. They crave feeling. That is where, this is common sense, the addiction comes from. So every lead brain in the church, regardless of what they tell you, they are addicts. They are drug-addicted addicts. They are addicted to LSD. They are addicted to sensation, and they can't feel it because lead is stopping them from feeling it. And they want it so bad, so they just need more and more until too much isn't enough. You're not going to stop me. I remember my cuddle buddy ranting about murdering people and how what of an addiction is. Yeah, you're addicted because you're a lead brain. You're a lead brain psychopath and you're a dumbass. Okay? And you're codependent on popping LSD and you can't process your emotions, but somehow you're a superior being, but there's a bunch of things you can't do. Where's your superiority at? Did you lose it somewhere? Superior beings? They're addicted to shit? That's what superior is? This is just my whole thing on common sense.